Beekeeping here, and I'm going to do part 2 of my sweet life. It's a little bit about my daddy's history and how he started Cox's Honey. This is a book that I put together, his biography, about 7 years before he passed away. I interviewed him, I read all his journals, I took notes. My niece helped me, my husband helped me edit it. Finally, we copied it off for all the family for the reunion that year. So it's got a lot of history in it. I want to share that with you so you know how the Cox's Honey came to be. As a young boy, my dad grew up in Orderville. It's at the mouth of the Zion Canyon, and he used to tend the bees. This is a picture of him near his home when he was graduating. There he is riding a bicycle. He remembers when the tunnel was actually made at Zion's Canyon. Here he is in the yearbook. He was quite the ladies' man and played basketball. He was quite the star, also played for Snow College. He was a forward for the basketball team. There he is right there. And he would make all the baskets. In fact, one team says, we're gonna gang up on him. There's how some of the reports that they had in the newspaper. They said, hey, we're gonna put 2 men on Orville Cox. That way we can hold him. And they did. We didn't score 1 score after that. There's lots of pictures of women, girls, I guess. He's kind of a ladies' man. There he is swimming, jumping in there. And all these pictures, these are classics of him going on to him. I'm not sure what's going on there. Then when he was about 21, maybe 20-ish, right around there, he served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to South Africa. He returned and found his parents had moved to Idaho and were beekeeping up there. His father was older, retired, so he went up to Idaho. Here's a map to kind of show you the trail that he took up there and lived up there. He found that the beekeeping was awesome. It had clover, alfalfa, and he said even milkweed, which made it a special blend. And his father said, you should really think about doing this. And so did his sister, put that idea in his head. So his father had some colonies and he took over. He built his first house as a log cabin. And as each child was born, another room was built on. This is during the 30s, you have to remind you. There's the second honey stand. I'll show you a bunch of pictures of those. There's the log cabin that the house was known for. There's the very first honey stand right there. Kind of gives you an idea of where he's come from. So the story goes that he wanted to beekeep, and I'm showing you pictures of the honey stand and honey farm and warehouse and everything nowadays, and in his lifetime. He went into the bank to get a loan, and this is during the Depression. You have to imagine how hard it would have been, but they believed in him, and they said, Orville, we think you're hard worker and we think you'll be successful. And so they gave him the loan. And it seemed like he lived from loan to loan for a while until he started making a profit, which was in the 50s. Well, shortly before that, in the 40s, he decided he wanted to try the creamed honey. Got all these old signs, isn't that classic? It's pretty cool. And he thought he could do it with making a meal and pressing the honey through. He describes it in his book to a T, how he made it. And he went to the National Beekeepers Convention. Here I'm showing you one of the trucks he had. And also here's where he had to buy some more honey because the demand was so high he couldn't keep up with it, so he had to buy from another beekeeper that was going out. Here's my brother using the hoist to lift all the beehives. They were super heavy. We thought we were big stuff having that. Now we use a forklift to lift everything. Here's a picture of my sister back in the day working out the bees. Here's a truckload of bees. Nowadays, a lot of them are moved by semis to California and such. But look at the ropes. Used to hold them. Boy, we could tie good knots. Here's a picture of the snowstorm in '64. Look how they're covering the beehives. They lived on. Now we winter them down in California. My dad went to almost every single Beekeepers Association of Idaho and the National. He was president one year. I used to accompany him on many trips. He used to peddle his honey. He would take his creamed, in fact I believe it was the late 40s, early 50s where he took the creamed honey and they made comments. Wow, what is your secret? How do you do that? In fact, I'll slide over here. He typed up every comment that somebody had made about the creamed honey. They couldn't duplicate it. It was pretty fascinating. And that's how Cox's honey, creamed honey, has come to be famous. And he also typed up what he had learned in his 60 years of beekeeping. And hopefully someone will appreciate all the things that he's put in there. It's a legacy for our family. Here's a picture of him holding the old 5-gallon tin cans. Anybody remember those? Yeah, they were kind of hard to get the honey out of at the end there. His pride and joy was always the creamed honey. Here's some old containers. See the tin can up there? And we did have glass at one time. I'll show you some new ones here. Here's what we have in liquid. And there's some beeswax. And when we come up to here, we have what he's known for, the creamed honey. Look at that. Beautiful. And the secret is, here's the last picture we had taken before my father passed away of all of us. That's my stepmom there. He'd been married 3 times. First wife passed away, then he married my mother, who died from a bee sting, which you can watch My Sweet Life Part 1 about that. His pride and joy was the business, was the honey, and especially the creamed honey, but his biggest pride and joy was his family. There were 11 of us, and we learned how to work and have fun at the same time. And I'll tell you more about that fun in my Part 3, Sweet Life, how I entered the business and what I do. Here's a picture of all his descendants in 1979, except for 3. His sons took over the business. They have now retired, and now the grandsons and great-grandsons have kept it in the family. Still kind of like my mom and pop shop, but it's amazing how it's become worldwide known. So there you go. There's the story of my dad, a sweet story. Known for the creamed honey right here. He also used to give guided tours to many school children and loved to go in the classroom and talk about it. That's what we grew up with. There were 10 of us working the bees all the time. Had a great growing up. We had fun too. We had a lot of fun. He was also known for this bee sound he made, which my family kind of humors. Anyway, he goes, I can't do it as good as him. He could make every sound, the queen, the drone, the worker bee, and all of them. But this is one thing he used to take in the classroom. Isn't that cool? So in closing, just have a sweet day, and be sure and subscribe to my channel below, share it with others, like and follow my Facebook pages and my groups and my Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. You get a lot of good recipes out of that. Bye. All right, you've made it to the very end of the video, so you get a little extra tip. The creamed honey is not only made with love, but my dad formulated a way to take a seed of granulated honey, goes in brown into this mill that is still used today, whips it around, presses it through, comes out white. It is amazing. If you let heat get to it though, and don't rotate your honey and don't use it up, it might end up looking like this one right here. Somebody brought that to me because they thought it was bad. It's not bad, it's just the cream will separate when it gets too hot. You gotta keep it about 70 degrees or colder. When it starts warming up here, I just put mine in the fridge, over there, or in the freezer, down there. And I rotate it as needed. If it comes out too hard, I can soften it up very slowly in the microwave. So there's your tip for creamed honey, used on scones, biscuits, the list goes on. It is yummy. If you like honey, you'll be addicted. And here's a PSS. If it has gone like this color, don't throw it away. It's not gone bad. Honey doesn't go bad. Use it in a marinade. Use it in your cooking. Use it up. Or call me, Cox's Honey Queen. Have a sweet day.